I have with me in the studio my friend, Mr. Phil Forbes with Warsaw Federal. Phil, should you make extra mortgage payments? Do you save any money?
Maybe.
That's a positive maybe answer.
So here's the thing with that. I really want to address maybe a larger question built into there is that we feel we often want concrete answers, right? We want surety, we want clarity. And this is a good one where, a lot of times our parents have told us to always make more extra mortgage payments. It's going to save you a lot of money, pay your loan off early, yada, yada, yada. To some extent, I agree with that. But especially in today's world, you need to be cautious of it. And the reason for that is because so many people that financed or refinanced over the last few years, they may have interest rates, in the 2-3% range.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've got a 2 or a 3% interest rate and you can take the money and invest it at 4 or 5%,
why not do that?
You're really better off keeping the mortgage. And I know people are going to say, well, of course the mortgage guy is going to tell you to keep the mortgage. And that's not the answer is it's not a pat answer. As yields on your money have grown and mortgages tend to be a long-term fixed rate debt, it really is a situational question, and finances are never so simple as to say, well, my parents told me this rule and that rule is always right. Like it's not necessarily always right. And it may often be right, or it may be right in your personal situation.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't make it always right, depending on, other advantages, other skill sets, other opportunities that people may have. And so, different ways of looking at things certainly need to be taken into account. And you can't just take a one size fits all approach to always make principal payments on your mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
If your rate's 8-9%, do it. But for a young person, for instance, I would tell them rather than focusing on your mortgage principal, focus on your retirement. Right, put more money in your retirement because that money's going to compound over a longer period of time. Your mortgage is really relatively temporary compared to your retirement plan. Your retirement plan definitely runs from now to the end of your career. So plowing money there is critical, and reducing principal on your mortgage when you're 28 years old. You may sell that house in 2, 3, 5 years. And although, you might have saved $5,000 and you may have $5,000 extra dollars for your next house, a lot of times that money's just going to kind of, how life goes. It all just kind of goes into the mix and doesn't really get recognized. But that money plowed into your retirement plan will stay there and grow and grow and grow. And so, again, it really depends on what's the interest rate you have on your house. It's not a clean one-size-fits-all question.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I had a form. This was before pandemic, and rates went silly, crazy low. But I had a form I could fill it out and show that if they made one extra payment a year,
right,
then they'd take that 30-year mortgage, and it would drop down to about an 18-year mortgage.
Right.
And they would save so many thousands of dollars in interest.
So true.
And then you take that and, but like you said, with interest rates, crazy low interest rates, doesn't make any sense to do that.
Well, it doesn't, because in that case, Gary, you're probably talking about an interest rate of in the 10 or 12% range.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, yes, it makes all the sense in the world. But when you have a 2 or 3% interest rate, doing that extra payment a year might only save you 3 years on the loan, not 12. And so it really, again, very, very situational. And different approaches need to be analyzed and paid attention to. It's not, again, that one size fits all approach.
Yeah.